youtube.com/MayhewMayhem. That's youtube.com/MayhewMayhem.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I am your host, my name is Michael Mayhew, and I am here with my co-hosts.
Hi everybody, I'm James, and we're joined here by this big pile of cow dung.
What's up everybody, it's me, Greg.
Did you just use a different version of one you've already used before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you have.
No, I think you called me a big pile of bullshit or something once.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
30 Minutes of Mayhem is available on YouTube, iTunes, Android, Stitcher, and Spreaker. All you have to do is search MayhewMayhem. That's MayhewMayhem, and make sure to rate us 5 stars.
Reach deep down into your pockets and help us afford to continue doing the show by donating to 30 Minutes of Mayhem via PayPal. All you have to do is use the email address in the description, 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com. It would really help us out.
Okay, so like I said, welcome to 30 Minutes of Mayhem, the podcast your mother can be ashamed of. And tell me, James, why is this the podcast your mother can be ashamed of?
Maybe somebody's mom is hot and I want to have sex with them.
That is exactly correct. James is all about them milfs. Okay, I forgot to say this last week, but this week Scott's also not going to be joining us because his work schedule is just not panning.
Now's my chance. Now's my chance.
What?
Hey guys. Hey.
So how's it going?
The fuck?
Hi, it's me,
hey,
Nick.
man.
You remember? You used to have me around until the whole arrest thing. Yeah, you guys remember, Mike? I was there at your father's wedding. Yeah, we're friends. It's cool.
Yeah, I listen. I remember and all, but like after the last time you were on, on episode 50 and the whole thing, and then the investigation, and Dale's not on here now because of the investigation.
Dave
Yeah, you
Deerwood
fucked
cleared
up
me
Dale,
to
man.
be on here. Dave Deerwood, my lawyer, cleared me to be on here, and I finally had my chance, so I'm taking it. With that being said, I took note that you guys have a new catchphrase there for the podcast. The podcast your mother can be ashamed of. Well, I have something that my mom doesn't know that she'd be very ashamed of. You see, one time when I was younger, this is my first experience with what is known as hentai manga. For those of you not familiar, it's animated porn, but in book form. Wonderful. Very well drawn. I was at the school library, and my one buddy orders books all the time for it. I was flipping through some of the manga that we had in our very tiny collection, which he curated, and I found the first one ever that I've read, known as Swing Out Sisters. A very tasty incestual threesome. It's haunted me for the rest of my life. I was kind of digging this, so I went to the back aisle. No one ever goes there because it's nonfiction, and he reads nonfiction, and I, just spat on my hand and started just stroking it right there in the back of the fucking library. About 3 minutes into it, it was, I wasn't making a lot of noise or anything, but, the lady who was in charge of the library, the librarian, noticed that I've been kind of gone for the last few minutes, so she came back to check on me. That's whenever she found me stroking it, and she flipped shit and then just starts screaming. After she gets done with her spiel, she's like, "So what do you have to say for yourself?" And I'm like, "Well, can you give me like 5 more minutes before you send me to the office?" And she got pissy. She got her face just went red, and she just stared at me, and she just walked away.
If that wasn't foreshadowing for the rest of your life, I don't know what is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why this is the podcast your mother can be ashamed of. So, apparently, we are going to have a guest.
I'm Nick, otherwise known as youtube.com/TicTacMan.
Now, with that being said, how many minutes in and somebody's already talking about fucking dicks and jerking off? So, fuck it. Let's talk about dicks. Any of you ever tried sucking your own dick?
I'm probably going to be the only one in this entire group who hasn't.
I'd say Greg's the one who's most likely to have tried, though. That's at least in my book. Sorry, Greg.
I haven't, and the reason why is because I have a fucking gut, and I just realized, pretty much immediately that it's just like, there is no fucking way that I'm going to be able to bend over far enough for me to be able to do that. No way, no how. So it's like, I'm not even going to try, because I'm not going to try and do it and then end up like really hurting my neck or something like that. And that would be embarrassing saying, "Mom, my neck hurts." Why? Because I was trying to suck my own dick.
No, females that aren't good at what they're doing always complain about their necks hurting afterwards as well. Greg, you're just slightly transforming, just barely. So whatever you're doing, quit. Just close it out so we don't have to go through the same situation again.
He had to quickly Google Swing Out Sisters and see if it was available in the United States. And yes, it is. It's $36 an issue.
I've already watched it.
Oh my
I know
God.
what it is.
Well, I mean, if you've watched it, that means you've only experienced half of it, because it's from a novel, and the novel is just phenomenal. I mean, the graphic novel is just phenomenal. I mean, Kuvi's use of cum. I mean, granted, you get the time effect in the videos. Like, I have a highlight reel of all the money shots from the Swing Out Sister series. If you'd like me to send that to you.
So
I made it a legitimate art piece. This was shown in a gallery.
I might have to take you up on that offer sometime, man.
can we stop talking about incest and talk about trying to suck your own dick? Like, for Christ's sake.
I have not tried, but I might try it now that somebody has brought it to my light. I just never really thought about it. I've always got my rocks off different ways, like different masturbation techniques. Like the stranger, you sit on your hand for a while until it gets numb. You know, like sat my hand on the counter and fucked my hand. I mean, I just did it other ways, other than actually trying to suck my dick. Was that too weird?
I'm personally a bigger fan of The Neighbor versus The Stranger.
I was saying, when I was younger, I tried. Like, it just seems like my rib cage is oversized, and I can't even touch my own toes. I'm not a big guy, but no matter how much I try and how much I've trained, I've never been able to actually touch my toes. But when I was younger, before I had that understanding, I was like trying, and like it came to the point where I had a rubber mallet at one point, and I literally considered breaking a rib, just smacking myself in the chest with a rubber mallet to see if I could get it to work.
Jesus Christ. For me to answer the question,
He said he had a lot of training. That's hilarious.
the answer.
I was very curious.
The answer for me is obviously no, because with the size of my dong, there is no way. I knew there was no way I was getting down there. It's just not physically possible. It doesn't have to do with a gut. It's just like, even if I didn't have a gut, I knew I wasn't getting there. I'd have to like almost fold myself in half, but like, even a weirder angle, and then I would just be suffocating myself with my balls without even deep-throating myself. So I knew that there was no chance that that was going to happen. So I've never tried. But
at least you're honest with yourself.
Now, if men could suck their own dicks, women would be unemployed. Let's just be honest. I mean, if we could reproduce with ourselves, we wouldn't put up with their shit.
You know what would help my experimental thing is if I got a fleshlight or something, and then I can put it in all kinds of different places and just fuck that. I never thought of that. Do you know they have a fleshlight where it's a foot? There's a pussy like in the top at the ankle. If you can't remember what the hell, like an ankle badge or something. Yeah, it's for foot fetishes.
Yeah, this is getting really fucking weird.
How weird is it?
They have one in a foot.
Greg, you've been on how many episodes, and it's just now getting weird?
It's been a while since it got this weird, and the fact that he's just like foot pussy, it's just like, what in the fuck am I hearing? It hasn't been this weird since Nick was on.
I don't see the point in a fleshlight. They're super expensive. In all honesty, it's not like they can be so much better that make it worth that amount of money. Like, people will say, like, well, it's, this particular porn star, blah, 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 or this particular person, or whatever. Well, the thing is, when they do the molds, they only do the molds of the outside. It's not like they're doing molds of the inside. So it's not like you're actually getting any of that actual person. So is it really worth that money?
I don't know, Mike. I've I was very tempted to get the Sunny Leone one, but the price tag was crazy high, and the fact that it's not the interior fuel is just a major turnoff.
So are you saying you have one?
I have 3.
Maybe that I can borrow?
I have 3 chains.
Oh.
As long as you boil them after you're done, yeah, you can borrow them. It's no problem. You know what? Actually, don't boil them.
No, I don't. I want your sloppy second. Oh.
Yeah, just let's do this. Let's just
all right.
I'll stand there and use it and hand it off to you, and then you can use it, and then we can just go back and forth.
We need to get a double-sided one. We need to get a double-sided one.
So we can
do they make those?
Oh yeah.
I know they have double-sided.
I don't know. Let's Google double-sided fleshlight if that is a thing.
Unless I had like a better job or something. I mean, it's just too much money for something like that I could just use my hand for.
Yeah, you also get veritable tightness with your hand. You don't have to buy different tightnesses of fleshies. That's what the That's what the hipsters call, or the hip young masturbators call them, fleshies. Yes, there is a double-sided. There is a double-sided fleshlight. On one side it is anal, and the other side's vaginal. So
I'm not really a
Nice.
butt man. I don't know if you are, but
I'll take the butt side if you want the vagina side. And the nice
Well
thing
done.
about the double-sided fleshy is in the middle there's a screw receptacle that you can empty.
So like when you climax, or is it one like thing to where you're gonna be shooting onto the other guy?
Yeah, it is.
So there's
I
that.
can't imagine them very popular.
so there's that. That'd be okay.
Yep, really,
That'd be
you would
fun.
be okay with that?
Then we can get a shower together.
I don't feel like it's worth the money. Somebody said something about if you're using your hand or whatever, you can control the tightness and everything and whatnot. And it doesn't cost anything. I don't see the whole point of it. But to each their own.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting episode of Spiel of Fortune. I am your host, Greg Holmes, and tonight's topic is bum interactions. So, up first is our first contestant, Nick.
So I was with this bitch the other night, and I just had my head between her cheeks, and not that kind of bum.
I was gonna make a fucking anal sex joke too. God damn it! I was hoping he picked me first. Son of a bitch. We're talking about banging in your. We're talking about banging in your boom boom.
Well, if it's about banging and the boom boom, do I have some stories for you? There was this man named Esteban. Oh my God, could he clench?
I thought you said his name was Jesus.
I said Esteban.
No, I mean, when you were last on, you were telling us about somebody named Jesus. Does he know about Esteban?
One, what happens south of the border and on the back side of the border, south and on the back side, is best kept there.
Actually, it was Emmanuel, not Jesus. There's just so goddamn many of them that I can't even keep them straight.
So we're not talking about that kind of bum, are we?
No. I mean,
Homeless?
I don't want to say homeless because in my definition,
Okay.
the homeless and a bum it's two separate.
No, I was up in Cleveland not too long ago. I was up there for a couple art exhibitions and Noodle Cat. And while I was walking, I was passing the horseshoe, and this guy who looked haggard as shit came up to me. He's like, "Hey, brother, can you spare a couple bucks so I can eat?" And, you know, me being the person, I said, I really have a card. So I walk another block, and he follows me. And at the next crosswalk, he's like, "Are you sure you ain't got nothing on you, huh? I could use a little something. Anything will help." Well, as soon as he said that, I'm like, yeah, I got something. I reached deep into my pocket, and I pull out a bunch of, like, nickels and dimes, and I just drop them in my hand. It had to have been, like, maybe 35 cents altogether. And he just stared at me like, "You got to be fucking with me." He's like, "Is that all you got?" And I'm like, "That's all you're getting from me."
So he felt disrespected by the small amount of money that you gave him?
Yes. He felt like I'm the one who insulted him by giving him my change, which is what he asked for. He asked for anything. So, I mean, I had some change in my card. I gave him everything I could. I mean, he needs to be wearing a shirt that says minimum donations $5 or something.
Wow.
like if he's gonna be like that, he needs to at least wear a shirt like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like, "I only got a card." And he like whips out a government issued iPhone and he's like, "I got a card reader if you want to just hand that over here."
All right, thank you, contestant number 1. Next up is contestant number 2, James.
This happened to be in the city I live in. I'm walking down the street, going to work. There's this homeless man eating this rank meat off like the side of the street. There's this guy downtown who feeds all the cats like this rank meat because there's a whole bunch of cats downtown, and he was eating it. Okay, I'm sitting out front of work smoking a cigarette before I go inside. And he comes over and asks me to hit my cigarette. You know, I told him, you know, I just seen him over there eating some rank-ass meat. He's not going to hit my cigarette. And he got all mad at me. And, you know, asked me for a cigarette, and I was like, I can't spare one. And he got all mad at me. So I have no idea why he would do that. It made me angry.
So again, you insulted him by saying, "I seen you eating that rank ass meat." Did you actually say that to him?
No, I told him no because I don't know what he has. I don't want him to hit my cigarette. I mean,
Well, I mean,
not to be mean or anything.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I got a little thing, not the same situation, but in Cleveland, I was up in Cleveland, and I was smoking a cigarette, and I had a homeless person ask me if they could hit it, and I said, I'm not going to share it with you, but I said, when I'm finished with it, I'll give you what's left of it, and they were cool with that, and I left them probably about 2 hits and gave it to them.
I didn't think about it like that. I wanted to finish my whole cigarette, I guess.
So
I just don't have patience with homeless people, I guess. I just don't have patience with them because I see them all the time. There's tons of them around where I work, so I see them all the time. They're always asking me for money, always asking me to make them food without them paying for it because I'm a cook. And they're just really annoying, so I've just gotten fed up with all the homeless people everywhere. So I'm just done with it. You get money from the government, okay, or whatever, and then you don't have any money to do anything? Like, you can't buy yourself food? Is that what you're saying?
Not all of them get money. It's just that
I know, but these people do. They get like disability checks and stuff, but they can't do nothing but smoke crack. So, I mean, they get homeless for a reason because they're like addicted to alcohol or something. There's something in their life fucked. It's not just like, oh, I can't find a job, so now I'm homeless. Like, I don't believe that don't happen. Like, I believe that does not happen.
I mean, it does happen. We can't say it doesn't happen because it absolutely does.
These people don't even try, man. Like, they don't even try for anything but to be a bum.
See,
honestly.
yeah, that's where, like I was saying earlier, I feel like there's a difference. There's a difference between being homeless and being a bum, and someone that doesn't make an attempt and just literally just tries to live off of what people give them because they're a crackhead or whatever. Yeah, that would be the definition of a bum to me.
All right, then. Thank you, contestant number 2. And finally, contestant number 3. Mike, what's your story?
Well, surprisingly enough, it took place in Cleveland. I've had quite a few interactions with bums in Cleveland, but we were at a show. We were outside, and this man comes up out of nowhere and asked us if we had any tickets for the show or if we were selling tickets to the show. So someone, I don't know who it was, someone gave him a free ticket. So he could go in. And I was like, oh, it's nice, whatever. We're not going to make you pay for it. He takes that, goes over by the venue, and starts trying to sell it. Couple minutes after that, I think it was the same guy, but don't quote me. This guy comes over and he's trying to sell us like this belly band thing that you put on, right? And it like supposedly like works your abs or whatever, so you can sit on the couch and like feed yourself a pizza and supposedly work out at the same time. And he's trying to get us to buy this shit. It's saying it's like top of the fucking line, right? It's top of the line shit, never been out of the box. And you can clearly tell by the box that it's from like probably 1987, and the box is beat to shit, and I'm like, whose house did you steal this from? And why are you trying to sell it to us so you can go buy crack? This motherfucker looked like he just got done smoking crack and wanted to buy some more crack. And I'm like, why are you trying to sell us this belly band thing from like the 1980s? The thing probably doesn't even work. It's probably not even in the box. If someone pulls out their wallet, you're probably going to snatch it and run. I'm not trying to generalize or sound like a piece of shit here. It was 2014, and you're trying to sell us something that was almost 30 years old. I mean, we're not stupid. We could tell by the design of the package that it wasn't brand fucking new, like you're trying to claim it was. And after we refused to buy this belly band from him, he got all pissed off and proceeded to tell us how we were all pieces of shit. Then he leaves. About 5 or 10 minutes go by. He comes back up without the belly band, acting like he didn't see us before, asking us if we could spare any change.
I will now decide who is the winner. And the winner is Mike. You had honestly the worst bum interaction out of these 3. In fact, that was extremely fucked up. I gotta say that, I mean, that shit was unreal. But anyway, thank you once again, everybody, for coming and joining us on Spiel of Fortune. I've been your host, Greg Holmes, and we'll see you again later.
So I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed the other day. I see this happened actually twice during this just past week. There's a bigger girl, and she's posting statuses and whatnot about people who hate on bigger females for being bigger, and then a picture of, for example, like Katy Perry, and then the actress from the movie Precious next to each other and saying, well, this is beautiful, well, so is this. Quit being disrespectful, yada yada. I didn't think, anything of it. You see shit like that all the time. And then another girl posting relatively the same shit, and I'm just like, again, not thinking anything of it. A few days later, I see both of these females posting stuff about Brad Pitt and Bieber's Calvin Klein photo shoot, saying about how they're so hot and yada yada. This is how my man needs to be and shit like that. This my man. And I'm like, hang on, whoa. Wait a second. Wait a fucking second. If we're gonna follow your theory of Katy Perry and the chick from the chick that starred in Precious is the equivalent as far as beautiful goes, following your logic, Justin Bieber and Michael Moore are both the same as far as beautifulness goes. You have to hold them in the same fucking realm. Justin Bieber is the equivalent to Michael Moore. Michael Moore is the equivalent to Justin Bieber. They are both beautiful. If we're following your theory, don't know who Michael Moore is. Guess what? He's a fat, big piece of shit. If you're gonna say big is beautiful, it has to translate to men. So I'm not a fat piece of shit. I'm not Michael Moore. I'm not that guy. Okay, but the fact that females will sit there and say, well, all this shit. Oh, big is beautiful, yada yada yada, but then contradict themselves by posting the opposite shit about men. Like, you're contradicting yourself. You look like a fucking idiot, and if you feel that way about females, it has to apply across the fucking board to males.
I totally get it. I have many very liberal friends in life, and a lot of them are feminists. People like that's the reason why stuff like feminism gets a bad name, because those girls would actually probably use that as a defense for their statements, I should say.
Which part? I don't understand.
That women shouldn't be judged like that, but the fact that they're still holding men to those standards, well, it's because they can, because women have been oppressed for so long. You have people like that who give feminists a bad name.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it pisses me off that they'd go as far as to pull that kind of bullshit.
Oh, dude, it pisses me the fuck off too, because it's like, okay, basically it's like because I'm not fat. I mean, I'm chubby, but I'm not fat.
Right, you're not morbidly obese or anything.
Yeah, I'm not like Biggie Smalls or anything. I mean, I'm just kind of chunky.
I'm just too white. I'm just too white to be Biggie Smalls. But anyway, but go on.
That, and I don't have the talent. It pisses me off when I see, because there have been times where, because I also suffer from depression, and usually if I get into a depressive episode, one of the first things that I think of is I'm a fat piece of shit. Even though I am not that fat, like, I immediately just jump and say, I am a fat piece of shit. I will admit, I could stand to lose a few pounds, and I'm trying to do that. So, but when I see online and that these women saying that they think it's sickening when men make fun of a woman's weight, the next thing I know, I see those same people like making fun of a guy who's overweight themselves. It's like, you're a fucking hypocritical piece of shit, you know that? If I shouldn't judge someone because of their weight, then you shouldn't judge me because of my weight. And just because we're not the same sex or gender or whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? You shouldn't judge me if I'm not supposed to judge you, okay? If you don't want to be judged, then don't judge me.
What do you think, James?
I feel like it's garbage. Them bitches just should be like hung. But
we're going back to election days all of a sudden.
I like how Nick was one of the ones who was like more subtle about it, and then James is just like, oh no, fuck them, we should lynch them all.
I'm just saying they give women and feminists a bad name, and then James is like, hang them.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has their own preference or opinion about, what they want in a, a mate or whatever. People like that just, I don't know. It just makes other people look bad if they want to love fat people or something like that. It's just like they're making fun of them too, kind of. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
It's
Here's another thing. Sometimes when people mention something about your weight, it's not because they're trying to make fun of you. It's because if you're fucking like, if you're like really fucking fat or obese or something, sometimes they're pointing it out because they're like, that is like not healthy at all. You're probably gonna die soon, or they're also saying it because, it's also kind of offensive to people around them because, let's face it, really, really, really fat people usually stink
yes.
because they're so fat, they can't clean themselves that well. And for whatever reason, and I don't know why, a lot of them haven't apparently fucking heard of deodorant. So they usually just walk around sweating a lot and don't wear deodorant, so they smell really bad. And I'm sorry, but that is offensive to my nose. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, if you didn't smell bad, I wouldn't say anything or think anything about you. But oh my God, you come around smelling like fucking porta john, then I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say something because god damn, I do not want to be smelling that when I'm riding the fucking bus every morning.
Right. They smell like a bag of Fritos or something, like feet or something. My feet smell like Fritos. I don't know about you guys.
Jesus Christ, like it's like Greg goes on a tangent about fat people. Like that's what just like if the episode had a name, it would be Greg hates fat people. Like that would be the name. But
I don't hate fat people.
Obviously, I'm over exaggerating, Greg. But like the whole point that I was trying to make was like when I seen this that triggered me to want to talk about this. They were bigger females. I'm not saying they were morbidly obese.
No.
But they were not like skinny by any means. They were not like average by any means. They were bigger. And these bigger females were saying how they're so sick of people hitting on them because of their weight, and that they're just as beautiful as someone like the example I used was Katy Perry, that the chick from Precious and the chick and then Katy Perry are equivalently beautiful, and then they go and contradict themselves saying like that how men need to look more like Channing Tatum or whatever. And I'm just like, you just fucking contradicted every point that you were making about that. Like, you are a bigger person, okay? You're pissed off about men or other women or whatever hating on you because you are overweight. But yet you turn around and hate on men specifically, not women, men, about being overweight. You're doing nothing but contradicting yourself and making yourself look like a piece of shit. If you believe that the chick from Precious and Katy Perry are equivalently beautiful, then again, like I said, Michael Moore and Justin Bieber are exactly the same. It just pisses me off. Do shit and say shit like that. Like, and the worst part is those females probably don't even realize it that they're doing that. Like, if you're going to preach about shit like Nick was saying, the feminists, you're fucking it up.
Anytime somebody points it out to them, they just, stick their
You're
fingers
the bad
in their-
person for pointing it out.
Yeah, they're like, you're oppressing me. It's the patriarchy. Help me. And it's just like, bitch, shut up before I smack you with my cock.
Did I just hear a little kid whimpering in the background?
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
I'll shut him up. I'll
Okay.
shut him up for good
I just-
next time.
Okay, you should have used stronger tape. Now, with that being said, Nick, even though I fear the repercussions of this episode, thank you for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
For you, maybe. And so that does it for another episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I have been your host. My name is Michael Mayhew, and I have been here with my co-hosts,
James.
And Greg.
Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, all that. If you want to know what we would use the money for if you donate, all you got to do is just send an email, and I'll tell you exactly what the money is going to get used for that you're donating. It's not just going to our pockets, it's paying for us to be able to continue to do this. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and later, fellas.